Durdle magic. Thank you for tuning in to Durdle Magic. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell if you like the content you see here today, and leave a like and share the video with someone you might think is interested. Leaving those likes really helps us out, but another way to help us out is by using our TCG Player affiliate link below. If you're looking for singles, sealed product, or gaming accessories, please consider using our link to support the channel. We also have some playmats at inkgaming.com. Go ahead and hit the link in the description to check those out. Alright, let's grab some spells and Durdle with some magic. Hello and welcome back to Durdle Magic. Today we're playing some more Zagras, Thief of Heartbeats. Looking at our opening hand, we do have 2 mountains and a Mind Stone, and a lot of follow-up for red, but no black, so I guess we're going to take the free mulligan. Looking at our new hand, I already like it better. Judith, in case things die, 1 damage to any target with Death Touch means death. Plus a bunch of mana, card draw, and some lifelink works for me. Our commander, Zagras, Thief of Heartbeats. 4 black-red for a legendary 4/4 Vampire Rogue. It costs 1 less to cast for each creature in your party. Flying Death Touch Haste. Other creatures you control have Death Touch. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a planeswalker, destroy that planeswalker. I really like that kind of text. So this deck does evolve. It does have a few party members in it. If you've seen my other videos, I did put in a few pingers just so we can have that. Also some other abilities. We also have 1 creature specifically in the deck I really like that has featured before, so we'll keep an eye out for that. If it doesn't come up, I'll tell you about in the after section when we look over the deck. But it essentially turns itself into a board wipe. It's an uncommon, which means it's cheap, and I believe it's a rogue, so that works out. We did win the die roll to go first, but while we're waiting for our opponents to decide on what they're doing, let's go ahead and look at our enemies. We have the 4-color Omn4th, Locus of Creation. When it enters the battlefield, they draw a card, and landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under their control, they gain 4 life if it's the first time the ability resolves this turn. If it's the second time, they get red, green, white, blue, and if it's the third time, they do 4 damage to each opponent and each planeswalker they don't control. I really can't say that enough. Wanted to build Omn4th, but it shot up from $13 on MTGO Traders to almost $40 or $50. So I will not be covering Omn4th, unfortunately, and I wasn't lucky enough to get in packs, so I apologize. But Omn4th will not be something I can look at, even though it's the only thing I wanted to play out of this whole set. Our turn rolls over, everybody decides what they're going to do. Let's go ahead, play a swamp, tap it down, and pass it off to our opponents. Omn4th is probably going to be the normal landfall kind of broken. Not looking forward to it. Our next opponent, Sedris the Chariot King. I haven't seen this in forever. 3 blue, black, red for a legendary 5/5 zombie warrior. Each creature card in your graveyard has Unearth. So at sorcery speed, you can pay 2 in black because it gives it the ability to return that card to the battlefield against haste, and then it gets exiled at the beginning of the end step or if it would leave the battlefield. As at Guildgate into play for Omn4th, a Sulphurous Springs into play for the Sedris player. Faithless Looting to follow up, that's going to be pretty good. Get some Unearth buddies in there. Our last opponent is the Scarab God. Okay, so they and Sedris are going to be an interesting pairing to overcome. We're looking at some tough competition today. We'll cover that in a minute. Let's see if there's going to be a random extra play out of Sedris. Nope. Okay, so our next opponent, rolling over to their turn, is the Scarab God. 3 blue, black for a legendary 5/5 creature god, of course, legendary. At the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses life, and you scry X, where X is the number of zombies you control. 2 blue, black, exile target creature card from a graveyard, create a token that's a copy of it, except as a 4/4 black zombie. And if that all wasn't enough, when the Scarab God dies, return it to your owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. So, and they die now, so that's, you know, a thing that happens. On our turn, we get Virtus the Veiled, scarier of the things of the people. Let's play that mountain, get down our Talisman of Indulgence. Somebody played Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth. Yep, the Scarab God did. Totally missed it. Now I have to tap all my mountains and decide. Anyway, Talisman of Indulgence into play. Let's pass it off to our opponents. Stomping Ground into play for Omn4th. Will it be untapped? It is. Destiny Spirit into play for Omn4th. Creature and enchantment spells they control can't be carried, and more importantly, target land becomes an XX elemental, where X is the number of enchantments they control. I've wanted to put that in a deck for a long time. We'll see how it does in this one. Crumbling Necropolis into play for Sedris. They tap it down and pass over to the Scarab God. So I do enjoy the fact a little bit that we're slightly outramping the Omn4th player, but I'm sure that's going to change in relatively short order. Island into play for the Scarab God. Some mana being tapped, and they pass it off. Sweet. Works for me. Comes to our turn, we get a snow-covered mountain. What do we want to do? Probably want that double black for the whip, just in case. Let's go ahead and summon our Skull Clamp, and then we'll get down Virtus the Veiled and probably bait out, or at least try to bait out some, removal. That usually has a effect on people, especially if we can hit them. We will not search for our library for Gorm, unfortunately. Not in the color identity. And we'll pass it off. Over to Omn4th, the glorious, the powerful, the I really wanted to play it. Rugged Highlands into play, they'll gain 1 life. We have an attack Destiny Spear from Omn4th going into the Sedris player. That'll be 2 damage to them. Damage is good. Omn4th tapping it down. So, I guess we're going to swing into Omn4th. Nothing personal against them or anything. But now they're defenseless, I don't think we'll get a better opportunity to use Virtus. Kind of just add it in here as like, I don't know, it felt like it was on flavor. Mounted into play for Sedris. Honor the Godpharaoh as an additional cost to cast this spell, discard a card, draw 2 cards and amass 1. Not terrible. Not the best, but not terrible. You do get a blocker out of it, which I find very good. Basuva into play for the Scarab God, copying the Crumbling Necropolis. Interesting. Does give him blue or black, so yeah, good move, good move. Comes our turn, we get Arc Bond. That should be interesting. Maybe kill Omn4th with some land triggers. Let's go ahead and play another Snow-Covered Mountain. And then I guess we'll just go to attacks first. Hit the Omn4th player with Virtus, and then if we have time, we'll move over to the Scarab God. Again, nothing personal. No one's giving me a real reason to do any of it, but need to do what I need to do. And then we'll go ahead and play the Scourge Diva. Why not? Judith coming down to the battlefield, and we'll pass it off to our opponents. That's a Plains into play for the Omn4th player. They're going to be able to summon the Omn4th. There it is, the glorious, the beautiful, the I wish I could play it. Okay, I'll stop complaining. Seriously though, I was so looking forward to that. Vandal Blast destroying our Skull Clamp, that is a sad face. Out of the Sedris player on their turn. I was looking forward to drawing some cards. Rakdos Canarium coming down for them. They'll have to bounce a land. They bounced the mountain they used for Vandal Blast. Over to the Scarab God's turn, and Island into play for them. Thassa Deep Dwelling coming down for them. That's a blinky one. To the end step, Thassa will get to blink something, but there is no targets. It does say up to 1, so it doesn't matter. Comes our turn, we get a mountain. Hopefully we won't get too many other lands. Now that our draw is gone specifically, that kind of sucks. So let's go ahead and summon our commander. Zagras, Thief of Heartbeats to the battle. I don't know. Why would I do that voice? I don't know. Our commander to the battlefield. Let's go to attacks. Send Virtus into the Scarab God. Send Zagras off into the Omn4th player. Seems like a good idea. Especially if they're going to be gaining life every land drop now. That's not going to be the best for us. Damage is good. Virtus triggers. Scarab God down to 19. Omn4th down to 14. Pass it off to our opponents. Over to Omn4th. Let's see what they do. 6 cards in hand down to 14. Unfortunately, we're down to 3 cards in hand, which makes me sad. Very, very sad. Landfall, they'll gain 4 life. Unfortunate for us. Improbable Alliance. Whenever you draw a second card each turn, create a 1/1 blue for a creature token with flying. Okay, that's an interesting card. Primal Empathy. That'll be good. At the beginning of your upkeep, draw a card if you control a creature of the greatest power. Otherwise, it gets a 1/1 counter. I believe we had that in Rixmacies. Alright, that's it for Omn4th. I think we'll attack into Omn4th next turn, especially if some more creatures come to the battlefield. And then use Arc Bond on Virtus and just kill everything. Unless we can get through on Sedris for Virtus first. It really depends on what Sedris does, I suppose. Windfall. Okay, I can live with that. Each player discards their hand and then draw cards equal to the number greatest that were discarded this way. 6 new cards for us seems pretty good. Looking at our hand, it's mostly lands. Ugh. That is just uncool. Come on, deck. Need more than lands. Talisman of Dominance coming down for the Sedris player. Let's see what they have in their graveyard. Honor the God Pharaoh. Gravebreaker Lami is going to be really good for him. I have that in my Yordiller deck. Apparent Overlord, that'll also be good for him. Let's see, Sneak Attack went in, so we don't have to worry about that. Nader Kraken, I mean, with Windfall it's good. Over to the Scarab God. 7 cards in hand, still at 19 life. Let's see if they summon anything they want to blink. Swamp into play, they can summon their commander if they want. Graveborn Muse, classic zombie card, coming down for the Scarab God player. So they'll be able to draw a bunch of extra cards. I wish we were able to keep our card draw, but Sedris the Traitor King said no. Shadow Sphere, a card that features in this deck because it can take away Hexproof and Indestructible, which is key with the pingers. To the end step, Thassa triggers. They could just randomly bounce the Graveborn Muse. It depends on what they want to do, but it won't do anything. Comes our turn, we get yet another land. Oh, come on, deck, come on. Let's play Bonder's Enclave. And then we'll play Oh yeah, I forgot. Have to select now. Signet. Recto Signet, to be more specific. To the battlefield. And I think I want to actually just draw a card off of it because we don't have anything else to do. So let's go ahead and do that. Draw a card off the Bonders Enclave. And we get another land. Deck, come on now. Alright. Well, I don't want to really attack with anything except Zagras into Omn4th, so let's go ahead and do that. Well, no, hold on a second. What does the Graveborn Muse do? They lose X life. So yeah, let's go with attacking Omn4th for now. We have a flyer on the interception, that's fine. Zagras stole the tiny heart of a fairy. Combat damage is good to the fairy, no damage to the Omn4th player. Let's just pass it off. Primal Empathy will trigger on Omn4th's upkeep. One of their creatures will get a 1/1 counter. Omn4th is a mighty 5/5 now. Landfall, the Omn4th player will gain 4 life. Migration Path, okay, there's going to be 2 more lands to the battlefield, so they will get the free mana and 4 damage to everything. So that will be nice. I guess we'll just wipe the board in Revenge or something. It's not like we don't have the mana to resummon our commander. Omn4th does the triggering thing. It's so beautiful. Oh yeah, I forgot. Omn4th doesn't hit the creatures. Yeah, okay. That's fine. We have a Blasphemous Act in hand. Oh, we got something here. Tap 2 target creatures. Those creatures don't tap during their controller's next untap step. Sad. Very sadness. Alright, well, we are defenseless. I am assuming they will be attacking us. Oop, no attack. That's too bad. I was going to, crack back with Virtus of the Veil and his mighty 2/1-ness. Oh well. Over to Sedris the Traitor King. Their graveyard is stocked, and yep, one more Metamorphic Pool into play. They can summon 2 of their guys if they really need to. Gravebreaker Lamia going to be very nice for them. Maybe not yet the Apparent Overlord. I think that's something they'll wait until later until they have more devotion to black. Sedris the Traitor King coming down for that player. Off to the Scarab God's turn. Graveborn Muse will trigger. They will draw 1 card and lose 1 life. Nixler's Shrine to Nyx into play. That's never something I want to see. Dread Horde Invasion. That's also something I don't want to see. Very good little enchantment there if you're unfamiliar with it. 1 black for an enchantment, obviously. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life and amass 1. Whenever zombie token you control with power 6 or greater attacks, it gains lifelink till end of turn. It's a very good enchantment. And unless somebody can murder you real quick. But I've never seen this be terrible. It's always been pretty good. Curse of Shallow Graves, we are being cursed. Whenever a player attacks enchanted creature with 1 or more creatures, the attacking player, may create a tap 2/2 black zombie creature token. I guess they didn't like Virtus. Not that I'd blame them. Graveborn Muse coming at us? Yep, thought so. So they'll make an extra zombie. Damage is good, nothing we could do about it. Thassa triggers at the end step. They will blink the Graveborn Muse. That means they have a blocker. Very unfortunate for us. Comes our turn, we get Urbrask the Hidden. That could be kinda good. Let's go ahead and play a Snow-Covered Swamp. What do I want to do, though? I probably want to wipe the board at this point. Extra card draw, Sedris doing some things, Omn4th doing some things. Yeah, I don't like many of it, really. Plus, we get to ping anything if it randomly survives, I guess. Won't do much for us, though. How unfortunate. Let's go to combat. Let's hit Omn4th for 5 more commander damage. Attack into Omn4th for 5 should be good, although they do have some mana up and ready to be used. They take the 5, no responses, down to 17, 10 commander damage. Let's go ahead and play the Blasphemous Act. Seems like a good idea. We have a number of triggers. Let's go ahead and ping the Sedris player. All the ping to the Sedris player, they'll take 3. And then we will play. I keep forgetting I have to select the color. It's very uncool. Alright, so anyway, we will then play Urbrask the Hidden. Urbrask to the battlefield. Let's pass it off to our opponents and hope they don't randomly have removal, which, between the 3 of them, I'm sure somebody has something. Over to Omn4th's turn. Plenty of mana to recast it, by the way. Sad face. World Soul Colossus coming down. Convoke. It earns the battlefield with X counters on it, which is 7. Over to Sedris' turn. So, I really hope we don't draw a land next turn. We really need something else. Other than that, we can draw a card with the Bonders Enclave, so that won't be terrible. Although next turn we'll have to spend a lot of mana, depending on what we get, to recast our commander. Sepulchral Primordial coming down for the Sedris player. That's pretty good. Gonna have to look out for our own Virtus. Alright, trigger to the stack. They're getting our Virtus, kinda figured. Lightning Stormkin from the Omn4th player, and I can't see what this is. Whoop, that's not it. Drawn out Last Blood Chief. Okay. Virtus will trigger. I don't think anyone would have Gorm, but you never know. Oh, they'll target us. Nice. Should we use the ability? Yes, I'd very much like to shuffle my deck, please. Please. We will not find Gorm, obviously. Over to the Scarab God. Dreadhorde Invasion will trigger. They'll lose a life and amass 1. 4 cards in hand for the Scarab God. Sorry, 3. They just played an Inventor's Fair. 13 life. 30 life for the Sedris player. 4 cards in hand. 17 life, 10 commander damage, and 3 cards for the Omn4th player. We are at 33 with 4 cards in hand. Unfortunately, no gas. Fleshbag Marauder. That means we'll have to sacrifice Urabrask. That kinda sucks. Guess I should have saw that coming. Urabrask into the graveyard. Not long for this world. Do the unstep. Thassa will trigger. Nothing really to blink, so I expect it'll be our turn shortly. Comes our turn. We get in Garrick's Wake. If it wasn't for Virtus, I'd probably hold off on using it. But I kind of want to be using it. No Planeswalkers, though, which is sad. I always like catching a Planeswalker in one of these. Alright, let's go ahead and wipe the board. Sedris will be fine with this, though. I'm sure he'll just, you know, darn, they wiped the board. I'll never get them back. And Garrick's Wake to the stack. Blow it all up again. Everything's dead. Let's pass it off and, you know, hope the Scarab God doesn't come down to steal anything. They are 1 mana away, though, so it does frighten me a little bit. Over to Omn4th's turn. Primal Empathy. Again, triggers, not doing anything. Omn4th, Locus of Creation coming down for that player. They will get to draw a card when it enters the battlefield. Improbable Alliance triggers. That was our second card for turn. They get a 1/1 blue fairy creature token into play. Landfall. Omn4th gains 4 life. Rogrin Crystal coming down. Alright, so that's the Just Guy one. Over to Sedris' turn. Temple of Epiphany into play for them. They will scry 1. Cruel Ultimatum targeting the Omn4th player. Honestly, I would target the Scarab player at this point, but what are you going to do? So target opponent sacrifices a creature, discard 3 cards, loses 5 life. You return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand, draw 3 cards, and gain 5 life. So Sedris going to be able to get a bunch of value out of it. Omn4th going to get pretty punched in the face. Omn4th sacrifices the fairy. Let's go ahead and see what they discard. All 3 cards. We have a Wilt. Okay, good. They'll destroy Marox, Thornwild falls, and Collision and Colossus. Check the game log, see what Sedris got back. Gravebreaker Lamia, okay. And then they gain the 5 life and draw the 3 cards. Over to the Scarab God's turn. Dreadhorde Invasion will trigger yet again. They'll lose a life and make a zombie. Down to 12, 3 cards in hand for the Scarab God. Island into play, down to 2 cards. 34 life, 7 cards in hand for the Sedris player. 16, 10 commander damage, 0 cards in hand for the Omn4th player. We're sitting pretty at 33, no defenses though, and again, no gas in hand. Skyclave Relic coming down for the Scarab God. Omn4th tapping down their mana. It was kicked, so they're going to create 2 extra indestructible mana rocks. That is unfortunate. Shadow Sphere being equipped to the zombie. To the unstep, Thassa will trigger. I think they will likely not target anything. Rolls over to our turn, we get Zulaport Cutthroat. I mean, at least it's a blocker. Let's go ahead and play Swamp. We will play the Zulaport Cutthroat because, you know, blocker. And then let's go ahead and recast our commander, again, forgetting about the Tomb of Yawgmoth. And let's go combat. I forgot that the Cutthroat is a rogue, so I did waste a mana there, but nothing to cast. Let's go ahead and attack the Scarab God player for 5. Sorry, for 4. Forgot Judith is no longer on the battlefield. Damage is good. Scarab God takes 4. That's for commander. They are down to 8. Let's pass it off to Omn4th. Primal Empathy triggered for the Omn4th player. They gotta draw a second card for their turn. That means they get a fairy token. Incubation. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card from among them. Put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. For the Omn4th player, let's see what they reveal. Polywog Symbiote. If I remember correctly, there was somebody who really hated this. I still don't know why, but I'll take their lead and try to kill it, I suppose. Rooting Moloch. Alright, when it enters the battlefield, exile target card with a cycling ability from the graveyard. Until end of turn, you may cast and play that card. Sorry, it says play, so it can be a land. And I think they have 2 in the graveyard, if I remember correctly. I'm not entirely sure. Migration Path. That'll be good for them. Some extra lands. They'll gain, you know, 4 life again, get some free mana. Blow up some Planeswalkers and hit their opponents for 4. I am somewhat depending on Omn4th to help me kill the Scarab God player. Sedris, I don't know how we're going to be at this point. Migration's Path to the stack for the Omn4th player. They'll get 2 more lands into play. There's some triggers. Alright, let's see if they have another land drop. Polywog Symbiote coming down. Nope, no land drop. Let's see if Omn4th bothers to attack anywhere. I would attack into Sedris if I were them. Omn4th with no attacks. That is a sadness. Oh well. Can't force people to do what you want. Over to Sedris player's turn. A land in play. Reliquary Tower, huh? Interesting. Sedris the Trigger King coming back down for that player. And a Talisman of Indulgence. To the Scarab God's turn, Inventor's Fair will trigger. They do control 3 or more artifacts. They will gain 1 life. And, of course, Dread Horde Invasion will trigger. They will amass 1, which means their zombie token will get a 1/1 counter. The Scarab God is coming down for that player. It can also be activated to exile something and make a taco. I'm hungry. A copy of it. Definitely want some of those 4x4 tacos, okay? Undead Alchemist coming down for the Scarab God. Okay, so that's the milling one, right? Yep. So, Undead Alchemist, if you're unfamiliar, is a 3 blue for a 4/2 zombie. If a zombie you control deal combat damage to a player, instead that player mills that many cards. Whenever a creature is put into an opponent's graveyard from their library, exile that card and create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. It's really good. They also had a Mesmeric Orb come into play, so whenever a permanent becomes untapped, that permanent's controller mills a card, it's going to be bad. We are being attacked. That is unfortunate. Do I want to do anything about that? No, not at the moment. We'll just take the 3. Undead Alchemist will trigger. That means we have to mill some cards. Alright, 2 things into exile. Sorry. Dagger Caster is the board wipe creature with our commander that I really wanted to get. When it comes into play, it deals 1 damage to each opponent and each creature they control. And Dual Caster Mage is a lost. Vasa will trigger at the end step. I don't know that there's anything they want to blink, but we'll see. No blinks. Alright, we untap a bunch of stuff, and we're going to mill a bunch of stuff. Hopefully we just randomly draw into some recursion would be great. Let's just go ahead and yield till the end of the turn. 1 creature gets exiled. Mages of the Wheel will also get exiled. Dead of Winter and Chandra's Incinerator. Okay. So, Incinerator will get exiled. Goblin Sharpshooter will get exiled. That sucks. Oh well, not much to be done. And Emergent Zone. Okay. Goes to our first main. We draw a mountain. Deck really hates me, I guess. Let's go play a mountain. And then we'll go ahead, tap for red, tap for colorless, and filter through the Signet. And we'll go ahead and draw a card off Bonder's Enclave and see if we can get something other than the land. We get Murder's Redcap. That's fine with me for the moment. I do not have the combo with it in here, so that is unfortunate for us. Let's go ahead and cast it. And we'll go ahead and kill the blue zombie over there. I don't want to exile any more of my creatures. Okay, so now what do I want to do? I probably still want to hit the Scarab God player over here, so let's go ahead and do that. 4 more damage to their face. 4 damage is good. 8 commander, they're at 4. Pass it off to our opponents. Hopefully Omn4th draws something to do with the zombies, although I don't think they're going to care much. Over to Omn4th's turn, the orb does all the triggering. I'll see you on the other side. Sedris quits the game. That's very interesting to me. I guess they just didn't want to deal with all the zombies. I thought they were kind of, you know, like second place already. Alright, Omn4th draws a second card for the turn. Improbable Alliance is activated, so they will make a fairy token. Improbable Alliance activated again. They are looking for an answer. Let's see what their discards were. Oh, sorry. Landfall, Omn4th will gain them 4 life. Now let's see what they discard. Selesnya Guildgate and Creeping Trailblazer. That makes some sense. Flying Fairy Token off into the Scarab God player for 2. 2 damage is good to the Scarab God player. Omn4th to the second main phase, just tapping down some mana and passing it off. To the Scarab God player's turn, look at all the stacks. They'll lose 1 life and gain 1 from the Dread Horde Invasion and the Inventor's Fair, so they will stay static at 2. They will mill themselves for a bunch of cards, which, with the Scarab God out, is not the best. I'll see you on the other side of this stack. Scarab God being activated, what are they getting from us? It looks like Urabraska hidden, yep. So their creatures will have haste. I imagine we're going to be taking a lot of damage. That looks pretty cool. The black on red treatment, or the red on black treatment, sorry. I don't even know, but it looks cool. Still on the upkeep, we have another activation. Where is it going? They're going to get back drawn out the last Blood Chief. Yeah, that might be enough to kill us. That is unfortunate. So drawn out the last Blood Chief is 3 black for a legendary creature vampire 4/4. Haste and flying. Well, haste from Urabraska anyway, pardon me. Whenever she attacks, defending player chooses a non-legendary creature in your graveyard. You return that card to the battlefield with 1/1 counter on it. That creature is a vampire in addition to its other types. So at least it won't be attacking us. That's nice. Scarab God triggers. We'll be losing X life for X's number of zombies they control. Yeah, we are pretty dead. So that's 9, 10. We'll be taking 10. Omn4th will be down to 4. Scarab God might get this out. Unless Omn4th has a random 2 damage thing, but I don't think they do. Okay, for some reason we didn't lose life from the Scarab God, so I'm interested in knowing what that is. Okay. The Scarab God siphon mine to the stack for them. I don't know. I guess we'll discard the mountain because we have so many mountains. Omn4th discard. Oh, hey, Field of the Dead. That's uncool, man. Omn4th doesn't discard anything. They had 0 cards in hand. Alright, Scarab God going to the attacks. They can kill one of us. They can't kill both of us. Alright, there it is. A lot of zombies they'll get into play tapped, unfortunately for us. And Drawn It will trigger, so we get to choose something out of the graveyard they can have back. Is there something we can abuse somehow? Let's go ahead and check it out. Archfiend of Ifnir. No. Undead Alchemist, Fleshbag Marauder, Graveborn Muse. Fleshbag Marauder, you don't say. Alright, let's double check the trigger. Yep, it says they return the card. So let's do Fleshbag Marauder. You'll enter the battlefield. We'll sacrifice Murderous Redcap. We have some triggers to put on the stack. Trigger, let's target the Scarab God player. We'll deal 1 damage to them. And then we'll drain them for 1. Whew, that was close. The most, was the saying on Narset's Reversal? Sometimes the enemy is your most convenient weapon. Down the Scarab God goes, saved by our teeth. We get Sever the Bloodline. That's pretty good. Let's go ahead and play the Snow-Covered Swamp. And we will go ahead and cast Sever the Bloodline on Omn4th. It gets exiled. I imagine they'll put it back in the command zone. And then let's go ahead, activate Bonder's Enclave to draw us a card. We get Detection Tower. Oh, deck, come on, man. Let's go to combat and attack the only remaining player. 4/4. We have a Fairy intercepting. Nothing we can do about it. Alright, end of combat. And we pass it off to our opponent. Hopefully we won't draw any more dang lands. Seriously, deck, come on now. The Omn4th player will get to draw an extra card and make it another fairy token. Those fairies are going to be very annoying. Omn4th coming back down for that player. They'll get to draw a new card. Tyrannith Stinger, they're cycling it to draw another card. Maybe they're looking for a land? There's a landfall, they'll gain 4 life. To the attacks, fairy into us, we'll just take the 2. Omn4th, 2 cards in hand, by the way, 17 regular life, 10 commander damage. Damage is good. Hopefully it'll roll over to our turn and we get something besides a land. To our turn, we get a land. Let's go ahead and play Detection Tower. Let's go ahead and activate our Bonder's Enclave and hope we don't draw another land. Hey, it's not a land, it's Terror of the Peaks. Yay, an extra flyer. Hopefully they don't have removal for it, but let's go ahead and cast it. And then I think we just go on the attack with our little guys right now. Maybe everything except Terror of the Peaks. Nah, let's just go with Zagras. To the attack. So let's go ahead and attack. And we'll attack with a Murderous Redcap too. Why not? They might block it with something useful. Fairy to the intercept on our commander. That's going to be a persistent problem, I feel. They take 1 from the Murderous Redcap. Fairy token down. Let's pass it off to our opponents. Oh, we have a response on the end step. Let's see what it is. Invent. 4 blue-red. Search your library for an instant or sorcery card. Reveal them. Put them into your hand shuffle your library. Oh, no. That's never good when you get to tier for stuff. Never good. Well, never good against you anyway. We get Zenith Flare, and we get Flower and Flourish. Creatures you control get 2/2 on the turn. Zenith Flare, however, deals X damage to any target and you gain X life, where X is the number of cards with cycling ability in your graveyard. That's going to hurt. Maybe they'll hit the dragon, though, and we can get our commander to stay on the battlefield. To Omn4th's turn, Primal Empathy will trigger. They will finally only get a counter because our dragon has higher power. 4 cards in hand for the Omn4th player. We know what 2 of them are, Zenith Flare and the boost plus the land search. I imagine they're going to do the land search and just use the mana for Zenith Flare and probably kill our dragon or something. Saheeli's Sublime Artificer. Now that's a card I didn't expect to see at all. Flower, they're going to go get a Forest or Plains. That's a servo token in play from Saheeli. Plains into play, Omn4th will have them gain 4 life. They'll draw a card and discard a card, activating the Improbable Alliance. They will get another fairy token. That stupid enchantment. It's worked out so well for them, too. Omn4th to the attacks. No attacks out Omn4th. That works for me. Still 2 cards in hand for them. Looks like the turn's going to roll over, though. Please don't be a land. God, it's a land. What the hell is going on? I mean, the deck only has 37 lands in it. Well, 36 lands in one of the new flippy ones. Anyway, Snow-Covered Mountain into play. Let's go ahead and activate the ever-seeking land of, drawing cards. For the love of Pete, give me something other than a land. Glaring Spotlight. Well, it is something other than a land. I should have been more specific. Let's go ahead and play it. Okay, so we do have Sever the Bloodline on flashback. Do I want to do that? I probably do. I really wish I could get rid of that Improbable Alliance, though. Omn4th drawing extra cards, though, probably isn't going to work for me. I want to get rid of his 4/4, though. But we could get rid of the fairies and hit him for a bunch. That is something we can do, huh? Alright, so let's see. Sever the Bloodline, we will need 7 mana. Let's go ahead and cast it for flashback. And get rid of all those annoying fairies. Oh, we have a response coming out, Omn4th. What is it going to be? Zenith Flare. What is it going to target? It's not telling me. That's unfortunate. Oh, they're just going to target us. Okay, that works out. Saheeli is going to make a little servo buddy. We're going to be taking 9. Oof, nice play. Yeah, I love those deal damage, gain life things from the Boros color pairing. Most of them just aren't terribly good. Some are really good, though. Alright, to the attacks. Let's go ahead and attack the Omn4th player. Might as well get them back down to 20. 9 damage is good. Let's pass it off to our opponent. Oh, man. Okay, so deck needs to stop giving us lands. Would be fantastic. And if we could get a pinger and just start killing their stuff as it comes down, would be great. Do at the turn, they do draw a second card. They get another one of those annoying fairy tokens. Lavakin Brawler, an elemental. When it attacks against 1/0/10 to turn for each elemental you control. That's an odd choice for the deck. I have noticed a distinct lack of rares in the deck. So, you know, 4 colors doesn't matter, I guess, if you have access to all that stuff. Migratory Greathorn coming down. Is it going to mutate? I don't think it is. It is. Onto a servo it goes. So it goes on top. When it mutates, they'll search the library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tap, so they'll get landfall from the Omn4th. Thicket Crasher. Other elementals you control have trample. That's pretty good. Okay, they're making a Lavakin Brawler out of the servo. Nice, so it will have trample, and it'll get a huge boost. This may be game right here. Let's see what happens. There's the attack. The servo Lavakin Brawler and Omn4th into us. Let's see the bonus, 6, 4, and 5. We could actually just take it, but I don't know that I want to. Getting rid of Omn4th could be good, but they do get an extra card out of it, and yet another one of those annoying fairy tokens. So I think we'll just take it, actually. I mean, at this point, unless we draw something, there's really no going back. We're down to 2. Let's see if they can finish the job with any abilities. Alright, to the end step, rolls over to us. Please don't be a land. It's not a land, it's a thing that gets lands. Oh, deck. Deck, you're not my favorite thing in the world right now. Let's go ahead and play the Blood Crypt. We will not pay for it. Not yet. maybe if this was like Infect or something. I don't know. Let's go ahead and play with the Mana Compass. Why not? And then let's go ahead and try to draw something other than a land. Or something that gets us lands. Or a Mana Rock. It's a land. You have to be kidding me. Shuffle are doing me no favors today. Might as well go out in a blaze of glory. So, Glaring Spotlight, in case you don't know, creatures they control, your opponents control rather, that have hexproof can be targets and spells and abilities as though they didn't have it, and we can pay to sacrifice this. Our creatures gain hexproof and can't be blocked this turn. So, might as well go out in a blaze of glory, because why not? Let's go to the attacks. And attack with everything. All of it. Go! And the damage is good. Down to 13, up to 18 Commander. It's too bad, one more turn and we could have had it. I guess I could have played it close to the ear, but we're only at 2 here. I'm willing to go ahead and say good game to our opponent as I pass it off. Comes to our end step. The compass will flip over. And if it randomly saves us, I'm down for a very squeaky victory, but it's not looking good. Off to Omn4th's turn. Lay sigh. Everything is attacking. Lavakin Brawler. Well, unfortunately get a giant boost. Let's go ahead and just use our Spires of Razka here. What do I want to untap? You know what? I'm not letting the fairy hit me. The fairies are evil. Take that, fairy. Alright, and when we bask in the shade of the arrows coming down on us, squish. There it is, -20. Good game to our opponent. I didn't see, like I said, like almost any rare. I don't think I actually saw any rares. I mean, I'll have to go double check maybe later. But they played well. Unfortunately, we got nothing but lands and got milled out of like everything else. So, yeah, not a lot of gas. Let's go ahead and take a look at the deck. Alright, so here's the deck, and in case you didn't catch any changes right off the bat, we did, since we only have 36 lands in the deck, and I originally thought we had 37, I kind of wanted to just try out Valakut's Awakening. So that's the flip card over here. it can come into play tapped and add red afterward, or it can be a semi-draw card. So added that. Card draw is always nice. Plus, I think this card's going to be more or less pretty good in like mono red-ish decks that can't draw. So, you know, like Boros or stuff without blue. Also took out Geode Golem, and we also took out Brash Taunter. Brash Taunter, as I explained in the last video, really doesn't do much for the deck. So at those 5 drops, I add in Urabrask the Hidden. Gives our guys haste, which is really important. I should probably add more sources of haste, but I really didn't. And our opponent's stuff comes into play tapped, which means we have an opportunity to kill them if they have haste, if we have pingers on the battlefield, or we can swing through for damage. Tear of the Peaks helps us throw damage, so whenever anything comes into play, it gets to bolt, sear, lots of damage, something. So that's good with our Death Touch Ward as well, plus it's just general removal. And if they want to destroy it with a target spell, they do have to pay 3 life. And yeah, it works out really well all around for the deck. I don't know, there could be things I could have done better with the deck. The pingers really don't do a lot, even though I really wanted to cover the pingers. And I don't think we even got any of this game. I know Goblin Sharpshooter got milled to the graveyard. Deathbringer Thoctor would have been something I would have looked forward to. Inferno Titan. This game, unfortunately, did not showcase the deck very well. Although I think we played really well, especially against the Scarab God, where they said they misread the card Drana, and we got to pick Fleshbag Marauder, and we're able to manipulate that play. So, saved our butts. Close to winning, but didn't quite get there. So, as always, I will post the link to this deck as it stands right now down in the description below. Go ahead and check that out. And if you saw any cards you want for your paper collection, sealed product, past, present, or future, and some cards to protect your investment or play cards, whoever you may be, please consider using our TCG Player affiliate link in the description below. Helps out the channel and costs you nothing extra. I hope you enjoyed this game. I really kind of enjoy this commander. It's an interesting build. I like the Death Touch Lordness of it, and unfortunately we haven't been able to kill any of those stinking Planeswalkers, but what can you do? Alright, I'll see you on the next one and the next series. Thank you for coming to Durdle with us today. Hit that subscribe button and go ahead and hit that notification bell so you're always up to date with our latest videos. Please leave a like and share the video with somebody who you might think is interested. We also post links to our videos on Facebook and Twitter at DurdleMTG. If those are the forums you choose to use, please check this out there. Until we can Durdle with some magic again, see you around.